Hi, I'm Marshall. I'm the owner of Going Gear, and I'm here in our store in Smyrna, Georgia. This is the extended review of the Nitecore EAX flashlight. So here we have the Nitecore EAX hammer. Some good information on the front, 2000 lumens on max output. This thing runs on 8 AA batteries. So 2000 lumen, pretty crazy output for 8 AA batteries. This is kind of the upgrade or evolution of the EA8 if you've ever seen that before. So some other information on the side, 800 hours on the lowest output, 490 meters of beam distance, which is really solid for a light this size. Not that it's super compact, but running off of AA batteries, that kind of output, that kind of throw, not too bad at all. And as always, you can get the full specs on our website, goinggear.com. You can also, of course, buy the light from us there. So let's go ahead and pull all this stuff out and show you what you get on the inside. As user manuals always get stuck for me. Let's see if I can get it out without mangling everything. I guess here's the holster this time. Alright, let's set the holster to the side, pull all this stuff out, pull the light out, and show you what you get. Okay, so stuff that you have in here. Spare O-rings if you need them. Actually just one spare O-ring, a lanyard if you like lanyards. Nitecore actually has really nice lanyards. I like their lanyards. User manual. I harp on this in every video, but it's definitely worth a read. A bunch of good information in here. You've got ANSI specs if you want to know all the different specifications. Of course, you can just look at that on our website. Battery installation, talks about the interface. Nitecore has really good manuals, well written, lots of good information in here. Definitely take a look at this because there are a lot of features and functions of the EAX. Holster, nice holster, so it opens up. Light slides down in there. And you got the flap that goes over the top to protect it, hold it in place. And then you got the attachment points on the back, metal D-ring. Not a bad holster. And here is the light itself. So, one switch on this. Side switch has that similar two-stage switch that the EA4, the EA8 had, and a bunch of their other lights. I like the switch. It's a pretty cool interface. Some people don't really understand the half press and the full press. But if you think about like any digital camera these days, it's the same kind of interface. If you just go into it with that mindset, it's not bad at all. So there's your two LEDs down in there, two Cree XML2 LEDs, each in their own kind of little separate reflector area. Nice glass lens. You can see big, tough, burly light. Lots of impact protection, lots of surface area for heat sinking, so this thing dissipates heat really well, and grippy, so it's got that machining to make it nice and grippy even if it's wet or you're wearing gloves or something like that. So, the light is powered by 8 AA batteries. You can use 8 alkalines. As always, I recommend that you use nickel metal hydride, and the reason is they do have the very small chance of leaking. I've actually seen a couple of them that have leaked, but it's far less than alkalines. You know, I've got a bunch of alkalines that just sitting there will leak, and that's no fun when you're spending this amount for a light. And it's not necessarily catastrophic if you catch it relatively quickly, but I've seen it where the alkalines have actually leaked so much that they fuse themselves to the inside of the battery tube, completely ruin the circuitry, and no flashlight manufacturer is going to cover that under their warranty. So you're out a big chunk of change, and that's no fun. Nickel metal hydrides are not expensive or hard to find, and you can get Sanuena loops like this that have the low self-discharge that give you about, I think it's something like 3 years, and they still have 85% of the charge. There's not really any reason not to get them. Silica gel, toss that to the side, don't eat it. I like the warning label on there, like people eat random stuff out of their flashlights. People will start eating lanyards and stuff like that. But alright, so let's go ahead and stick batteries down in there. So you've got the polarity indication you can kind of see in there. So we're going to start sliding batteries down in and get them all down in there. Got a couple in, so we got 4 in, got 6, and then the last 2. And then on the tail cap you can see you have these 2 prongs. This thing actually spins around. So you got the 2 prongs, make sure those are lined up properly, and screw the tail cap back on. Alright, let's go through the interface of the EAX. So it's all controlled by this 2-stage switch. So if you lightly press it, it goes into what I think they call the general mode. You can see from the factory it comes on the super low output. Keep on doing those half presses and it'll cycle up and then back down. It'll go through those. And there is a memory on this, so if you turn it off and turn it back on, you can see it does have a memory. So if we bump it up a couple, turn it off, turn it back on, it does have a memory for those lower outputs. You also have turbo, so if you do a full press on that, it'll go right to that max output of the 2000 lumens. There's a secondary mode in there, so if you have the full press and then do a half press, it'll cycle down to high. There is not a memory on that. So when you do the full press from off, it's always going to go to that max output of the 2000 lumens. And to get it off from the lower modes, you have to do the full press to turn it off. There's also some flashing modes. So if you have it turned on, 2 quick full presses, if I can say that, and then you have strobe, and then press and hold while it's in that, and it'll go through SOS, and then you have a beacon flashing mode where it flashes really quickly every few seconds, and then back into strobe. And if you turn it off and back on, you see there's no memory for those. So just a memory on the lower outputs. There's also a lockout function, so if you have the light turned on, if you press and hold that switch fully for a second or more, you saw it kind of flash like that, and then hitting the button will not activate the light. And then press and hold again for a second or more, and it'll turn the light back on, take it out of the lockout mode. I don't know if you saw it, but when I did the lockout, it actually flashed. There's an LED actually beneath the switch that flashed, and that's just giving you an indication of the battery power. And it'll also flash when the battery starts getting low, so that's something to keep in mind. If you ever see this start flashing, that means that your batteries are getting low. So again, real quick on the interface. So if you tap that switch, do the half press, and then to keep on doing half presses, it'll cycle through your lower outputs. Click all the way to turn it off. Click all the way, and you have the max output of the 2000 lumens. Half press, you got the lower output of the high. And then click all the way to turn it off. You actually also have momentary. I didn't mention that before. You can do this in either the half press or the full press. So if you do the full press and release, you can see you've got the momentary. You can also do that for the half press. Kind of a cool feature that it has built into that if you just want the momentary. And then you also have the flashing mode, so if you have it turned on, double click and then press and hold to get through your other flashing modes. And I just showed you how to do the lockout. So pretty cool light. You know, it's kind of big, but you're talking about 8 AA batteries, almost 500 meters to throw, 2000 lumens, and it's really not that heavy. It's not that bad to carry around. You know, it's not uncomfortable. It's not something that's going to break your back or anything like that. Probably a little too big to carry in your pocket, but you know, to keep in your truck or you know, by your bedside or outside, you know, at the door going to the outside just to see what's going bump in the night. You know, this is a perfect flashlight for that. And AA batteries are so easy to find. Even nickel metal hydride rechargeables that I recommend, those are super easy to find. So this is a good light to have if you don't want to go for the more exotic lithium or lithium ion batteries. Okay, so that's the interface and everything of the EAX. We're going to go ahead and take this outside and we'll show you how the EAX does outside. Alright, we're outside with the Nitecore EAX. Got the big 40 mag light that I always use as a baseline since pretty much everybody's familiar with what it can do. There is the mag light, little tree about 25 feet away, dock house down there on the lake about 100 feet away. Okay, let's try out the EAX. We're going to try out the lower levels first. So there's that tree again, dock house. You can see what the lower levels look like. We'll kind of cycle through them. Even on that lowest level, you know, it makes it out to 25 feet actually okay. I can kind of see what's going on out there. If for up close kind of stuff, it's great, or when you want to save battery life. And then when you want the extra levels, you have those as well. And then there's your max output. So there's full blast. You can see it makes it out there really, really well. Dock house down there is lit up extremely well. You can see nice big wide hot spot. There's still good distance on it, so you'll see better here when we have a little bit more space to work with how well this does at distance. But that nice wide hot spot and the transition to the spill or the dimmer part out here, which is still really bright. So the spill itself is usable and makes it out to the dock house by itself. So that's nice. We'll kind of shine it around. Okay, so let's try this out at a longer distance. Okay, got some longer range to work with on the Nitecore EAX. Let's go ahead and give it a shot, see what it can do. So there it is, max output of those 2000 lumens. Boat right there is about 20 feet away. Got 2 targets set up out there, same ones we use in the flashlight comparison videos if you've watched those. So that one, the first one is 50 yards, the second one's 100 yards. Tree line out there is 130 yards. Trying it around a little bit just so you can see what those look like. Obviously makes it out to all 3 really, really well. And it can do much further than that if you need it to. I'll show you what the lower outputs look like. Kind of cycle through those. Pretty cool light. Running off of AA's, you know, it's hard to beat this light if you want to use AA's in terms of the throw and the output and everything. There are some other lights out there on the market, but this is definitely one of the cooler ones. Lots of versatility in this one and a nice interface. You know, some people think it's complicated, but it's really not that bad if if you're good with your camera phone or you're good with a modern digital camera, you can figure this thing out pretty quickly. So there you go. That is the Nitecore EAX. If you like it, you can buy it from us at goinggear.com. Any questions or comments, you can reach us in the comments or at goinggear.com. And if you like the video, please subscribe. I do a lot of gear and flashlight videos. And that's it. Thanks for watching.